I made a video that made Hasan Piker fans really mad. So mad, in fact, that they tried to bomb my video with dislikes and bad comments. And now, I'm gonna respond. Put on your hazmat suit, we're going in. But before we get into this, I strongly advise you to go watch the video that these comments are from, as it will help provide a lot of context. Context, which seems to be the central theme for a lot of these comments. Also, be sure to comment, like, and if you're new here, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching the video. First up is Orpheus Zion, I guess, who says, "This video is not great, terribly edited, and half of the clips are out of context, or things he's apologized over. This feels like insane levels of copium." Okay, the editing is bad. Let's see if Orpheus has any videos that could help us to see what good editing looks like. Orpheus. I'm disappointed. But I will address one criticism here because it's a common one that I saw from Hasan fans who watched the video. Where is the context? And this guy said that if I added context, what Hasan said would be good. Okay, let's talk about context. Let's start with one of the most heinous things that Hasan has said, which is that the rape of Israelis by Hamas terrorists don't matter in the long run for him. Let's play what Hasan said leading up to this moment.
It doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live fucking free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
And here's what he said after that comment.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like, the Palestinian resistance is not perfect.
Okay, so apparently Hasan believes that the rapes don't matter in the grand scheme because when you're fighting Israeli oppression, you're going to generate an imperfect resistance. Wow, what great context. Thank you so much for having us dive deeper into that. That's got to be one of the most smooth-brained takes I have ever heard. A stray bullet can accidentally hit somebody, an innocent can get caught up in an explosion, but you can't accidentally rape someone. Yes, Your Honor, I did sexually assault that woman, but it was a result of me imperfectly following her into the alleyway. Oopsie. Also, how does assaulting innocent women at a festival strike back at the heart of an Israeli government that you claim is oppressing people? It doesn't move the needle in your favor. It just gets you glassed. I'm already over this idiot and his fans, dude. But let's move on. Let's talk about the Houthi pirate interview.
Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
As you can see, Hasan states that he is going to have a Houthi rebel on his stream.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother.
But after getting dogpiled by planet Earth for glad-handing a literal terrorist, suddenly Hasan says this is just some random teenager in Yemen.
I had a random teenager from Yemen on this broadcast, and these dipshits literally kept saying he's an anti-Semitic, homophobic, gay people executing terrorist Houthi who killed probably a bunch of fucking sailors. Random fucking Yemeni teenager who in the interview said he's not anti-Semitic, that he's totally on board with anti-Zionist Jews, which was shocking for him to even learn about.
But Tim Houthi is an admitted Houthi soldier. He's not a random teenager. So things got too hot for Hasan, and he started to blatantly lie about this kid's identity in a very weak attempt to backtrack. Oh, and he's just like Anne Frank, you know, that Jewish girl who had to hide away from the Tiny Mustache Brigade back in the 1940s.
I talked to a teenager from Yemen, okay, who everyone called, myself included, called Tim Houthi Charlemagne or Chalamet. This kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life, he has withstood genocide, right? Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically.
Hello, we're twins. We're twins. Yes, sir. I am me. She is she, except when I pretend I'm her.
Oh my god. Just to give you a reminder, the Houthis are ideological butt buddies with the Tiny Mustache Brigade. Allow me to quote what's literally on the Houthi flag. Allah is great, death to the USA, death to Israel, curse the Jews, Victory to Islam. How about the attempted indoctrination of NMP LOL? What's the context there? Let's start with Hasan literally putting on a terrorist music video telling NMP LOL that the Houthis are a very musical people and that this was a music video he was about to watch.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way, just so you know. These musically gifted individuals.
Yeah.
Did you leave me alone in a room with, like, a propaganda video playing?
What is
They do
this?
musicals. They're very musical people.
Are
No,
you being serious?
Dog, what do you... Look, you think I made
This
this?
isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
There's really no additional context that's needed here, but just to cover all my bases, let's hear about what happened from NMP LOL himself.
Days ago, I was hanging out with my buddy Hasan, and this guy unironically put a terrorist propaganda music video on and then left the room.
Left the room.
Yeah, and I was just like, and the thing is, like, in hindsight, it's hilarious, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, what is going on here? This is wild to me.
Yeah.
But like, I just, and like, he was like, yo, they're such great dancers. Look how
Oh
good.
my
I was
god.
like, okay.
Then there was this moment where Hasan was talking to NMP LOL about various terrorist organizations, and I cut the clip here.
They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
Now, I did this for two reasons. One was comedic timing, and the other was that I didn't think I needed to give you much more context after you watched Hasan say that he has no problem with Hezbollah. But fine, let's see how Hasan justifies defending a terrorist group.
but they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well, I mean, we also called Nelson Mandela a terrorist until 2008.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela was a terrorist for some time as he led the Umkhonto we Sizwe, or Spear of the Nation, which I'm pretty sure I just mispronounced, against an apartheid government. He was imprisoned in 1964 and released in 1990, where he led negotiations to end apartheid and became president in 1994. He wanted reconciliation over retribution, making many people see him as a man of peace. Hezbollah is a Lebanese terrorist organization that launches rockets against innocent Israelis, suicide bombs people, and wants to establish a theocratic Islamic state. Oh, and the destruction of Israel, because what kind of Islamic terrorist group are you if you don't want that? Hasan seemed to leave that context out for NMP LOL, and context is super important. Right, Hasan fans? Let's get down to brass tacks. What these Hasan fans were actually trying to do was overwhelm the comment section with accusations that I was taking Hasan out of context. So when passersby would look down and see that in the comments, they would think that I wasn't a good source of information and they would leave and probably never come back. It also helps Hasan because it makes viewers think that people like me are out there intentionally misrepresenting him and that he's actually a better guy than we're making him out to be. There is no good context, and they know that, and this is lying to you at best and psychological manipulation at worst. Also, they failed miserably because I got a good deal of subs from that video. If there was good context, they would have provided it, and one of my viewers, N.T. Ullman, tried his absolute best to get any of these commenters to provide an explanation for Hasan's words or some additional context, and every single one of them dodged the question or didn't answer. So the context thing is bullshit. I'm moving on. What else we got on criticisms? Just curious, why did you basically remake the Hasan nuke video? You used the same points and used the same words and phrases? Was that an observation or a question? What he's referring to is Ethan Klein's content nuke, and to be honest with you, I absolutely did watch it before I made the video, but I didn't rip it off, because if you actually go over a lot of the content made about Hasan's dumbassery, you'll find that a lot of people come to the same conclusions as I did. For instance, he might be referencing my joke about Fiddler on the Roof in regards to Hasan's comment about the Houthi musical. The man is out here trying to paint terrorism like it's Fiddler on the Roof. That is wild. Which Ethan did too.
Guys, let's just use our brains. Fiddler on the Roof, Wicked, Alexander Hamilton, man. There's no reason we can't put these Houthis on Broadway.
But it's kind of hard not to think about Broadway whenever Hasan is out here talking about Houthi musicals, and Fiddler on the Roof fits because it's about Jewish people facing anti-Semitism.
Bagels and lox, diamond shots. It's hard to be Jewish in Russia, yo.
To say that people can't come to the same conclusion or even the same humorous observation is kind of stupid. And if 100% originality was the only thing that was allowed in the public square, then every YouTuber, every show host, every commentator would have to quit their job. And Hasan would have to quit his career because the bulk of his content is reacting to things that other people have said or done. By the way, the real insult here was accusing me of being an Ethan or Destiny simp. Brother, you must be new here. I mean, it's got to be a Hugbox thought because ain't no way that anyone can accuse me of being a fan of either one of those dudes. From what I've learned over the course of my research, Hasan and his community apparently have a super huge hate boner for Destiny because apparently Destiny gave him his start and then they had a falling out, which I guess Hasan never got over.
We allowed in here, y'all?
Destiny made you.
Good?
Fucking loser.
And now they accuse anyone who attacks Hasan of being a Destiny fan because I guess their parasocial relationship with Hasan goes so deep that they share his emotions? I don't know. Next one. Here's a study that disproves my point. Now watch these clips with zero context. Here's a tweet from one person I agree with that I will now use to prove my point. Socialism bad. Come on, man. I get you're trying to pay the bills, but this is just lazy slop. Try something else and read a book. I love how socialists, of all people, always try to come at you from a position of intellectual superiority. First off, how did the study disprove my point? The point of highlighting the ISD study was to show how left-wing groups pressured Twitch to crack down on right-leaning creators while actively ignoring left-leaning ones, which I point out is exactly what happened in the video. But me just dumb not socialist, so what do me know? And the other criticism here was referencing the tweet from Anna Kasparian that I used, which states that Anna Kasparian knows for a fact that Hasan is afraid of his audience. And I believe her, because his audience is rabid. Apparently his Discord is a cesspool of hate and horror. And just for Hasan fans, here's a sampling of it as read by Ethan Klein.
Hasan's Discord, and what I saw in that Discord was near universal praise for Hamas, near universal saying people deserved it, people near universally calling me a Zionist pig, fucking mass murdering genocidal freak. And if you want to know the truth, that shit fucked me up seeing that Discord.
Oh, but Ethan's a liar. Okay, well, here's Hasan admitting that things got unhinged and real anti-Semitic in his own Discord.
People were ruthless to Ethan, okay? It's true. They were. It's true. There were a shit ton of people that were saying some unhinged shit, all right? They were for a year. And there's also a real threat of rising anti-Semitism that's happening in that same time frame, okay? But the problem is, like, while that was going to happen, because there's always a rise in anti-Semitism whenever Israel goes around and says they're killing children for Judaism falsely, right? Turning around and claiming that I'm the reason why all of these people were actively radicalized in the direction of anti-Semitism, mind you. When I spend so much fucking time combating anti-Semitism. Even if there was multiple rapes that took place on October 7, this does not change anything for me in this dynamic. Yeah, where is that chatter? He was like, come to Israel. It's so beautiful here. You will see the conflict from my eyes. Yeah. I should go to the old city so I can get my fucking shit pushed in by some of the most inbred fundamentalist hicks. Brother, I am not going to Nazi Germany, okay? I hope you understand this. And I mean this with all sincerity and with all disrespect.
But this is the audience that Hasan cultivated, the one that he radicalized, and they are 100% out of control to the point where they're trying to control him. Here's a real-life example.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say, you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hasan. At least pretend. Do it off stream. Please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
No.
No soda, Hasan. I didn't know it was like that.
And I feel like Hasan has had lucid moments where he unleashes on his chat. For instance, here he is going at them for driving away all the normies, and I present these comments to you as read by Destiny.
I'm done. I hate this job. I'm not streaming today. Fuck it. I woke up at 4 to prep. I'm not doing it. Fuck it. No stream today. Bro, what the fuck is this Discord? I hate what my community is becoming. I hate how much people literally despise any kind of fun content. We killed all the normies. Everyone is like brain broken and only wants politics. I don't know, this was a space to convert normies to our politics and people who could enjoy shit. And many of you became like weirdos who don't see that as an important part of the project because you associate leftism with being an annoying douchebag who hates fun.
This is the most fun video I've ever made. Way better than Socialistville. Quick aside, I love how nobody came to Frogan's defense in the comments. It's like she's the Meg of Twitch.
Shut up, Meg.
Okay, one more. The first argument with the champagne socialist is just bullshit. The whole thing of socialism is that it has to be implemented collectively as a nation or a world system. It's not something an individual can do. Maybe educate yourself on the topic. It's a very interesting ideology with a lot of variance. Man told me to educate myself and he misspelled 3 words in that last sentence. I'm not going to go into the entire back and forth that I had in this particular thread with this guy because they tried to make it seem like I wasn't addressing the guy's original point, which I did. Twice. If you want to look at the entire conversation yourself, I recommend you put on some rubber gloves and go dive into that comment section. But I will say this. Hasan is every other rich socialist in America. He lives large while he proclaims that the rich need to be dined on. Now, to his credit, Hasan has done things to raise money for various causes, chipping in $115,000 to $140,000 of his own cash that I know of. But in the grand scheme, that's pocket lint to Hasan, who pulls in somewhere around $800,000 to $1.5 million a year from Twitch and YouTube, and that's before sponsors or merch dollars hit the pile. Yes, he's raised a lot of money for causes he likes, but that's mostly your money. He clearly makes enough to drop stacks on a Porsche and a $2.7 million mansion without breaking a sweat. And yeah, socialism is a team sport, but regardless, there's principle behind it that you would think that he would live by. For instance, how come he is not giving up half, if not more, of his money to the poor and needy? Because that's what socialism is all about, right? Making things fair for people and giving them a leg up when they need it. At least that's the moral goal every virtue signaling socialist has told me. Moreover, for a guy who loves socialism so much, why is Hasan putting himself into a position where he is the sole focus of your donations? Why doesn't he tell his chat, hey, stop giving me money and start giving it to community kitchens or homeless shelters? Why doesn't he just shut off the ability for chatters to sub or donate to him and tell them to go and give their money to charities? The way I see it, it absolutely does matter on an individual level, because if you are living in a system that doesn't practice socialism and you are a principled socialist, then you would do things on an individual level because that's what you believe in. Instead, Hasan and his chat literally cry about wealth gaps and then create one in Hasan. I'll say it again. Socialism is a virtue signal with no real virtue behind it. I don't think socialists actually exist here in America. It's all performative bullshit. Oh, it's systemic. It's a systemic issue that stops us from practicing real socialism. Okay, fair. Come. Then leave and go find a system you like. It's not like they're not out there. Just follow the trail of people trying to leave those systems and you'll arrive there eventually. All right, that was fun. Hey, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to join me for my next video, Ethan Klein and Destiny, Gods Among Men. Later.